Hello and welcome to Tarot Time. If you're watching this as a video, we're going to get started in just a minute. Once the live people get their notifications in just a minute or two. But what a week it's been and what a week coming up. So we're going to try, well, I shouldn't say try, we are going to connect with the energies that are around us and using tarot, channeling, and other divination tools, other oracle decks, give you a well-rounded forecast and an energy update for what's going on now and what's going on in the next week or two. And yeah, it's very busy indeed. So I will put my glasses on, say my quick hellos, and we'll dive right on into it. So hello, Karen, MDR. Hi, Mary. Hi, Mr. Floyd. Hi, Josh. Hi, Felicia. Hi, Karen. Again, hi, Claire. Hey, Doreen. Rainy, North Carolina all week. Yes. Hi, Heen and who else? Millie, welcome. Well, hi, Melissa. Melissa, welcome. Hi, Laura. Rainy, New Year washout, 3 inches of snow. Yeah, well, I'll talk about the weather in a second. Great, great. Yeah, we've been having a nice conversation. So one of the things we do in Tarot Time, this is kind of like our community hour. So a lot of people are going to be commenting, carrying on conversations, stuff like that. That's great. It seems like we've already done that. Well, it took me a minute or two to get on this morning, but hey, Truth Wave, energy meditation. First, you were the first. Yeah, hello, Michael. All right, so I went all the way back. All the way, yes. Victor's and cool. Cool. So, all right. So, firstly, the weather. Right now, I think it's raining. Either that or it's mixed with freezing rain. It's right around 32 out. So, here in the central Catskills or near Phoenicia, we got 4 inches of snow, about a tenth of an inch of ice. So, you guys may see my forecast. It's all verified here in this area and in other areas, meaning that it's a significant weather event, but for most of us, not quite as bad as what we were hearing through other forecasts. Most areas, you know, some of you might be the exception, and people that are in like high mountain valleys may hold on to more freezing rain and may get those conditions. But anyway, so there's that. So you guys in the Northeast, especially, the next part of this comes tonight and tomorrow with very strong gusty winds. So we still might lose power. But the thing is, if the trees don't have like a half inch of ice, you know, crashing down the power lines when the winds blow, power outages would be a matter of hours to restore rather than days. So that's the good news. So that's the weather. Lot of stuff coming out, right? And we're going to dive into tarot in just a second. I'm kind of flipping the format a little bit, but we're going to still see a lot of stuff, a lot of truths coming out, a lot of things that were said to be false. Conspiracy theories are turning out to be, at least to have some semblance of truth. We'll put it that way. We knew that all along. So, and I'll get into more stuff as we go along, but specifically what we're going to do now in Tarot Time is I will do a meditation card to sort of pick up on the energies of the week to give you a focal point for your meditation, your spiritual work this week. And I'll tell you how I recommend to do that. I like to do a 3-card spread to just read the cards and be open to direct channeling. Then I have all kind of other divination decks that we work with. So as we move on, we can talk about a few things. And if you guys have any topics you want to bring up, let me know. You're further south. So I think New York City, got an inch or two of snow, and then it went right to rain, I think. So let's see, more comments. RFK Jr. confirmed. Yeah, we knew that was going to happen. I think that was just a formality, but RFK Jr. has been confirmed. Yeah. Lived in Woodstock. Yeah, I live I'm a 20-minute drive from Woodstock. Yeah. Oh, you're talking to somebody else that was at Woodstock. I wasn't at any of the Woodstocks. No. Hello, Chris. Just started a roofing business. Well, you might be busy. You might be busy with this weather, but all right. And what's today? The 16th already, Hashi's 16th. Okay. RFK confirmed. Love it or not. Yep, RFK's been confirmed. Yeah. With all, I'll tell you my personal take on this, with all the stuff that's going on with the DOG, with RFK Jr., whatever. There's things I like and there's things that I don't like. So I'm not completely closed off, and I think we have to be open-minded no matter what side of the divide you're on. Hopefully you're in the heart and you're not in the divide at all, because that's what we preach like the gospel around here. So I think we have to be open but vigilant no matter what side that we are on. For example, the 47th president proposed high tariffs to Canada and whatnot. Now, part of my February forecast and my winter forecast was these tariffs were going to be rescinded or they were going to be modified. They still may happen. They just got delayed a month, basically. But the energy sector did get rescinded. Is that the right word? Reduced, basically. So, what happens if tariffs go up against Canadian oils and refinery? Canada has threatened to sanction the U.S., means our biggest supplier here in the United States, we would not get oil. We'd have to rely on OPEC nations, and we don't have enough domestic oil. So oil prices will go way up. So what's that going to do? Drive the price of gas up. People are going to be more interested in buying electric vehicles, right? Because they could save money that way. Now, do we know anybody that was appointed to a high position in government that has any interest in electric vehicles? Like, say, Tesla's, for example, whose stocks are down, by the way. And I'm not saying that this is a full-on conspiracy. I just like to put these things out there, because when you want to find the true conspiracies versus like what's really programmed for us to, to run down the wrong rabbit holes, go with simplicity, follow the money, follow the corrupt flow of power. So that's one possible scenario. I'll put it that way, that it could lead to that. Personally, I feel like there's going to be some solutions that are reached that it's not going to come to that. So we'll see how that goes on. But, there's these things that are going on, just to be vigilant, see where all the dominoes are falling with the different like acts that are being signed, the different proposed laws that will have to go through the Congress and Senate. I'll give, again, when it comes to Donald Trump, and it was the same thing with Kamala Harris, both of them. There were things I liked and things I didn't like. So I never really was fully on board with one ideology versus the other. I tried to stay in my heart, I don't know if neutral is the right word, because of course I have opinions and of course I have judgments and takes on things, but try to stay in that balanced Libran energy, basically, and just kind of be the observer, not to judge things. What's that? I think it's a 6-second rule or 30-second rule. If you get a distasteful text, you're supposed to sit with that for a minute or two, not just react from your emotional reaction, because if I get an unpleasant text, my survival instinct feels threatened. I go into survival emotions, and I may respond in a way that's not spiritual, right? So if you're able to step back and not react, but to take everything in and have a balanced perspective, you'll have a greater understanding of what's going on. Now we have also the what's it called, the Stargate agenda, or the Stargate project, that involves the AI infrastructure, the U.S. being the hub of that, and Donald Trump has gotten investors. What was it, SoftBank and OpenAI, and I forgot the third one, but they got $500 billion, I think, investment for this project, and some of it involves mRNA vaccinations for cancer. And more is coming out about that. So that's going to be big news. It already is, about Pfizer, Anthony Fauci, because there's information that was available, that was disclosed to those making decisions, that chose not to acknowledge that information and go ahead with the vaccination programs, the lockdown programs, the protocols for the virus and all of that stuff. So this stuff starts to come out. People that worked around Pfizer, Moderna in the research, people that were part of the team or whatever. Long story short is that a lot of stuff's coming out, and what we know is that basically the vaccines were approved under experimental, like for emergency use, experimental, but it still had the same legal protection that other vaccines have, meaning like if you get hurt by a vaccine, you can't sue. Basically, that's part of the law around that. So it's experimental. It takes 8 to 12 years to validate the safety of vaccination. I'm not saying they're not safe. I'm not laying my opinions on that on you. I'm just kind of you're following the patterns and the process of what goes on and how things are done and how corrupt these big companies are. But basically, then they got approved for children, right? Yeah, and it's an untested entity, and the programs are getting these children vaccinated every year just to go to school. So back to RFK, some people are really, I don't want to say despise him, but despise his ideas, anti-vaxxing. Although he'll say every which way till Sunday that he's not an anti-vaxxer. If you listen to him talk, it's like, my children got vaccinated and blah, blah, blah. I'm not an anti-vaxxer, basically. But from what I understand, that he's against the mandation of certain vaccines for certain groups, for certain reasons or whatever. And it's really about health or whatever. We'll see how this all plays out. But again, this is all coming out. And now there's a whole long laundry list of potential side effects of mRNA vaccines. And a lot of that was known, but from what I understand, this is my perspective and my opinion, but from what I understand, was known, but yet not revealed. And they went ahead with that anyway. And of course, we're knowing more and more that people have had adverse side effects. Now, all medication carriers have side effects, right? I'm not an anti-vaxxer personally. I choose not to take these vaccines. No flu shots, no COVID shots for me. That just doesn't feel right for me. But I don't want polio to become the next pandemic either. So I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm anti-control. I'm anti when it comes to not disclosing important information that could make or break people's health, so that a large corporation is going to get lots and lots of money at the expense of people's health. And these are the things that are really coming out, the things that no matter what side you're on, the things to look at, basically. So that is all coming out, and we're going to hear more about Mr. Fauci and more about that and so forth and so on. But that's what I think. What are you guys saying? I'm sounding a little bit like Russell Brand, if you ever watch his videos. Hold on, but that's just my opinion. What do you guys think, basically? Thank you for that. Should be encouraged. I can live with that. Education, right? Take all this money that you're trying to force feed vaccines, basically, and educate the people. Catch me about 8 or 10 years ago, you would have heard me say, legalize all the drugs, even heroin, legalize it all. Put all that money to fighting the war against drugs, to educating people, to helping people to work through their problems in life so that they don't feel like they don't become vulnerable to addiction to these horrible drugs, basically. Put the money in making people smarter, basically, instead of dumbing them down, right? Yeah, I think whatever side of the spectrum when it comes to these social issues you're on, I think that's something that we can all agree on, right? If anybody doesn't agree, let me know. But all right. Just because you started that out saying I may be wrong, we appreciate your humility, Laura. But it's my understanding that if you get a vaccine, it doesn't matter if the people around you did or not. You should be protected from whatever you get. That's an interesting point. It's like people want, want everybody to get measles, everybody to get this, that, or the other thing. Not a bad idea. But the idea is if you're vaccinated and your family's vaccinated, it's like the ones that aren't getting vaccinated, that's on them. They're the ones that are going to get sick. You're already vaccinated. So why are you trying to force other people to do things when it's not going to affect you directly? Now, when it comes to COVID and flu, because they've actually, I can't say that they're not real vaccines anymore because they actually changed the definition of vaccines to include these. But from what I understood from many years ago when I was a young man, so we're going back many years, my understanding was a vaccine made it virtually impossible for you to get whatever you're vaccinated against. That's not what the flu shots do. That's not what the COVID shots do, basically. And a lot of the big arguments. Now, 2 or 3 years ago, I this video would get taken down from what I'm saying. So this is an example of conspiracy theory being at least entertained as a conspiracy fact. Some conspiracy theories are ridiculous. They'll never get validated because to me, they're implanted in the collective in order to make people angry, confused, and go down the wrong rabbit hole so they can continue to do what they're doing without people's awareness. But that said, what was I saying? That's a good question. I think spirit saying maybe it's time to do some tarot, but in any event, the narrative was if you're not taking your COVID shot, then you're putting other people at risk. But meanwhile, it's from what I understand, I don't have total validation of this. So in my world, it's unproven. Maybe you do have proof, but it was understood that these vaccines were never going to be 95% effective. They were never going to stop the spread of COVID. Maybe slow it down. Maybe help. And again, did the potential risk outweigh the potential benefits or vice versa? If the potential benefits outweigh the potential risks for you, if you're in a high risk group for for complication of COVID, then I'm all for you taking the vaccine if it's going to help you, but just disclose the facts. By not disclosing the facts, it appears that you are risking people's health in order to pad or line the pockets of companies like Pfizer and Moderna and so forth and so on. And you know what a good way to eliminate all these conspiracy theories? Be transparent, governments. Let the people know what's going on. Don't withhold information. People have wild imaginations and they know they've been tricked before. That's all they have to do is disclose what's going on. Then you don't have all these crazy conspiracy theories. Then people aren't fighting and all this stuff, and you don't have this whole dynamic like these firestorms of like the vaxxers versus the anti-vaxxers and all this kind of stuff, right? So what are you guys saying? And then we're going to get into some tarot. So Michael, welcome. And my feeling is live and let die. Yeah, that's James Bond, right? Well, Paul McCartney and Wings did the song. Folks have to do their own research and do what is right for them. It was never right for me. To me, it was always common sense. If someone took the vaccine, fine. Exactly, yeah. And the head of Pfizer in Europe said the vaccine was never tested to see if it stopped COVID. Interesting. I've heard things to that regard also. And what else are we saying? So I don't know what Christine said that Mary's disagreement. I don't agree with that. I'm tired of soundbite culture. I see addicts everywhere crapping on him because of his addiction. Hypocrites everywhere. I think most of us have some level of addiction, right? Even if it's not drug addiction. So Heen is saying that things never change because three-dimensional problems cannot be solved with three-dimensional solutions. That's an interesting point. Yeah. Kind of like what Joe Dispenza says a lot, because his law of attraction, you go to the quantum field and you vibrate your intention where in that field that created everything rather than trying to change matter through matter because matter is very dense. So I mean, I would say that, back to this comment that theoretically you can change, you can apply three-dimensional solution to three-dimensional problems, but that's doing it the hard way. In my opinion, that's doing it the hard way. Helping people to awaken to their higher reality, higher dimensional reality. We're all multidimensional. Just like we can only see a very narrow bandwidth of light waves. We can't see X-ray, we can't see ultraviolet, we can't see infrared. It's the same thing with cosmic rays. We can only perceive a very tiny bandwidth of all there is. That's the physical reality. Meanwhile, there's all kinds of realities that exist in different energetic frequencies that through our human operating systems we cannot perceive until we quiet our mind and we start to activate our spirit senses, and then we can see beyond the physical 3D, what our physical senses are able to say. Anyways, I think that made sense. Sounded good, right? All right. All right. So I know I'm missing a lot of our a lot of your comments, but that's okay. As long as we're all getting the drift. Yeah, I don't hear all these things either that Josh is telling us. So, but I'm glad that you're doing the research, highly, and giving us that. I mean, I hear a few things, and I like to watch Russell Brand because he's funny. He, from what I understand, he does his research. He's highly controversial. Some of you may not like him. That's your opinion's valid. I could understand. So what else is going on? We're heading Pisces season, this week. Big awakenings are going to continue. Big reveals the next 2 weeks. There should be an assassination. Or an attempt. I don't think Trump, but it may be somebody connected to government. I don't think Musk either. Musk is sort of coming under that love him or hate him category that Donald Trump. Like I said, there's some things that I like they're doing. There's some things that I don't like. I'll just sort of leave it at that. I mean, another big thing is, again, I talk about Trump a lot because he's our president. He's the most controversial figure I've known in my 66 years of being in this physical body. And what was I going to say about him? I mean, to make a long story short, there's things I like, there's things that I don't like, and I try to keep an open mind with things and all that stuff. But one thing is that from what I'm seeing, he's a lot of his campaign promises he is following through on. And I did hear, I think yesterday, that there is a proposal for the Senate and the House to abolish the income tax, which is something that he said that he was going to do and work on, which I'd love to see that. The IRS, talk about, the Doge, really working on cutting government spending. How much, if there's no IRS, which is an agency appointed by the government, from my understanding, not a government agency itself, how much money would they save if there's no IRS? There's so many. There's ways of taxation that are much more practical and much more fair that can be implemented that don't involve like all this money. Again, when you see things that are so illogical, it's like a game of Emperor's Clothes. You can just look at what's going on and you can see right through. You can see what they're doing, what the Trump administration's doing, with what you can see what around the world. You can see what they're doing and you kind of understand, that there's certain steps, and a lot of people believe that Donald Trump's here to expose the corruption. I'm on board with that to some degree, and I've been saying for a very long time. I'm not saying that he's the Messiah and that he knows that that's his mission. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, so I'm not going to say yes or no to that, but I do know that from spirit, decade ago, before even 2016, I got the message that is his job from a spiritual perspective, is to expose the corruption. And again, it may be that he is the centerpiece of that corruption that's being exposed, or that he is literally exposing the corruption. Again, it can mean a few different things or can go in a few different directions. But and I think that's really happening, and that's going to continue to happen, and it's all part of the awakening. All the stuff has to be exposed. So the JFK files are getting exposed. All that kind of stuff is happening. Thanks for this little tidbit of information, Josh. Appreciate that. Okay. And this is and something tell you that as an industry professional, anywhere you see people bitterly fighting against an audit, there's that's a very, very good point now, isn't it? Yeah. I'll just look at your comments. Something about addiction were coming in. Maybe he has understanding the addiction, seeing the light. Yeah, very good. Yeah, right, very good. So, I'm just flashing things that you guys are talking about. Well, I've had addictions that I've overcome. I had a lot of know that I had a it was a tragic passing, even though it was somewhat expected of my brother 3 days ago now, who unfortunately had a lot of addiction that he can never overcome. So that's been going on in my universe. And my younger brother's joining my older brother, leaving this world for the next world, basically. And he's come through already. He's come through, and he's funny on the other side. He's been making us laugh. So anyhow, meditation card, as was promised 25 minutes ago. We're finally getting to that. Thank you, Adair. Appreciate that. And appreciate everybody that's reached out. I had I had almost 600 comments on my Facebook post, tons of comments here on YouTube of people wishing me well and everything, and condolences. So we thank you for that. All right, let's see here. Yeah, he's here saying give them bleep. Give them bleep. That was the message that came through. Anyways, I have to clear my mind. I found my card. It's this one. Your card. I said I found my card. You're like, oh, she's lovely. The Queen of Pentacles. I think on one hand, we're talking a lot about the financial system, right? That's obviously undergoing lots of ups and downs. I predicted a financial crash in February. I kind of it's not rescinded, modified that prediction, a few months ago, saying it's probably going to be more of a reset than a full-on crash. And I think we're seeing that reset. It's going to continue into March. It's all resetting. But anyway, Pentacles can represent money. So perhaps now, because a lot of people are concerned about money, we don't know where the where world finance is going to go. It's all very much up in the air. And Spirit's saying, the issue is that it's all new, and our survival instinct wants things to be predictable because it's more survivable. That's her subconscious survival instinct. So when it's all new, and when it comes to money, because we need money to survive in the society, it makes people very scared, and it makes them unpredictable. It makes them angry, and it creates more chaos and more havoc out there. Just know that money is energy. I know that that's very cliche-ish, but it's true. Money is energy, and like any other form of energy, it exists in unlimited abundance. As long as we're on a fiat financial system, the government can just print more and more money, or they can create more digital currency until it goes on a gold standard. But then again, so you might think, well, if it's on a gold standard, then it's not so abundant, it's limited. But no, it's not. There's probably like 1,000 to 1,000,000 times as much gold as we're aware of exists in this earth. They're finding that in Greenland. They're finding a lot of gold and a lot of gemstones and stuff like that, and raw products that can be used in technology and other things. So the U.S. now has interest in Greenland. Right, it's a strategical spot, and it's interesting. Can I remembering something? It's like something that I think I've got to be going back 20 or 30 years ago, and I had this vision way back then, before most of you guys knew me, that Greenland was part of the USA. Basically, like I had that vision. Not that it was like a sovereign state that the US was part of. No, it was it was part of the USA. Greenland, and we'll see if that actually happens in the future as the map changes, as there becomes like an American republic, and that's further division in the world. But getting back to your meditation card now, this could be a spirit guide, somebody on the other side that's going to be helping you to feel grounded, maybe helping you to feel secure, helping you to attract more money, get ideas of how to attract money or how to earn money in this changing economy, in this changing world that's going to be changing the workforce. AI is going to change everything, and a lot of the jobs, instead of serving companies, are going to serve the whole AI system. So they're going to abolish some jobs but create other jobs based on this new system that's it's coming. We can't stop what's coming. We can modify it and we can make it as best we can, but in any event, so how to meditate with tarot: get very relaxed, present, open your heart. I'm not a name, I'm not a body. That's what I do when I go into meditation. I relax my shoulders, chin, and forehead. Take a few deep breaths, inhaling love, exhaling any stress, tensions, worries. Feel my heart open and expanded. Then in my mind, I'm very aware, like I'm very present, of energy. And in my mind, I step into the card and I gauge what I feel. That's the first thing. What do I feel when I energetically become part of the energy of this tarot card? And then what else do I see that's not visible in the card? It's a big, big wide world that you're stepping into. This is just a narrow doorway. And who else is there? What do I smell, taste, see, feel, know? What messages do I get? And you can ask when you're in this for ideas to make sure that you're going to be secure when the world changes, basically. So anyway, so that's how to meditate. Let's do a 3-card spread. And on that note, I don't think it's too soon at all to start thinking about what to do if the whole process of digitalization and creating a technocratic society that gives technology more power, control over your day-to-day life that you feel comfortable with. What will we do? Because there's going to be a big movement of not being connected to the AI machine and to the transhumanism agendas and all that kind of stuff. It's not too soon to think about community, and as the months go on, we'll be talking more and more about that, because a lot of you that come on regularly, we've been sort of fluctuating the numbers from the high 60s to the low 70s. That makes me feel like there's probably about 60 regular people on that are here for the whole presentation today. Not too early for us to think about what will we do. Will we find land somewhere and grow food? I think the way it's going to work out, the society is going to be split, but I don't think it's going to be like some people are living in these big cities that's all like smart cities, all AI controlled, and everybody else living like indigenous people. I think there's going to be some blending of culture. I don't think that people living outside of the mainstream are going to be completely separated from technology and communications and modern conveniences either. I think it's more of an ideology shift. And I think, over time, as people awaken, a lot of this will be modified, and there may be more inclusion or more balance as we go on. But that said, I think a lot of us just don't want to, lose our humanity, basically. So anyway, 3-card spread. And you see, Thank you, Suzette, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. And recently banned federal agencies from creating a CBDC. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. There's such a a little bit of a gray area with the acts versus the laws, basically. And an interesting ruling that came out of certain interest groups that are accusing the Trump administration of doing things that are unconstitutional, signing all of these acts into law, basically. Well, not law, they're acts. There's a subtle difference, I guess. Well, acts don't have to go through the House and the Senate. Basically, that's the difference. But it was overruled, basically. So they were trying to say, that this is unconstitutional. This needs to go before, it has to go through a certain judicial process, and the judicial system, the judges overruled that, basically, right? Hey, Arclight. I have plenty of time. I want to get more silver while it's still less. I mean, my silver's gone up about $10 or so per ounce since I first purchased. I got it really low, at 21, and maybe about 8 or 9. Because last I saw us trading around 29. Yeah. So I have mixed feelings about things like Bitcoin and digital currencies, XRPs and stuff, because this could be the centralization of currency, digital currency of the future. So I'm not sure exactly where that stands. It's like, it's possible that, and I don't know enough about it, so I'm just putting this out as possibilities. You guys that know more, you can correct me if you wish, but if you were investing in digital, are we also investing in the centralization of money in the future, and the centralization of power through, even though I believe they're independent, that of digitalization at this time, that could change. But anyway, I know Ripple and XRP, all those went way up, and Bitcoin also, in anticipation of probably the centralization and digitalization of currency. Yeah. Oh, interesting, Karen. So thanks for sharing that. I part of me wanted to, part of me's like, no, so maybe I'm getting that. Thank you. And then I can only afford fractional BTC. I always in the metal soon, yeah. And then Mr. Floyd saying XRP for the win. So follow your guidance, follow your intuition, basically. I mean, the potential for those going way up is definitely there. I'll put it that way. But the potential for metals going up is there also. Yeah. Gold and silver are wealth. Exactly. Yeah. These are the standards of wealth that have always been. Yeah. So you can also speculate. You can use it as a tool to convert to gold. Yeah. Now, from what I heard, I could be mistaken, but what I heard is part of the quantum financial system it's part of it is the cryptos and digitalization, but having those on a gold standard or metal standard also. Otherwise, what regulates it? Fiat dollar or how about the petrodollar? Was that a joke or what? But anyway, 3 card spread. 3 land and water. Oh, interesting thought. Yeah. This is a good point. And precious metals and land also. If you own land, it's only going to go. I mean, it'll go up and down, but it's only going to go up in the long term, right? Yes, I'm doing that. Just kind of looking at comments here. Up to 15% today. Yeah. I need to manifest some capital to invest. That's what I need to do right now. Right now, what capital I have is going to, we'll just say, not funeral costs. We're not doing we're doing a memorial, but those types of costs. So, I'm having to lay out all the money for my brother's, cremation and the space for the memorial and everything. So that's where all my capital is going right now, basically, a little that I have. Although that's just an illusion in the physical construct of the 3D. I know beyond any doubt that I am wealth, therefore it's easy for me to attract wealth on the physical. So no worries there. Okay, clearing my mind. Okay, 3 card spread. So we'll see what we can pick up on the energies of this week. We had a lot to talk about. We're already 40 minutes in. But that's the way it's been, right? That's the way it's been. Well, I like the Hierophant reverse. That's nonconformity to me. And 4, that's nonconformity also. And another 4. Wow. Powerful messages here. 4 in numerology is Uranus energy. It's think outside the box energy. What is Uranus? It's evolution. It's revolution. It's spiritual. It's community, like spiritual community, connections and stuff like that. It's also earthy. 4 is the square. That's why it's think outside the box. So the Hierophant really thinking outside that. I think one thing that's going to come up is that we're going to hear more about laundry lists. That could be for Trump, Musk, or anybody there. So there's going to be like, oh, we had this new revelation that they invested money in this and it was illegal, it was money laundering, this, that, or the other thing. It's like as if people don't know that already. But I think that there's a lot of that's coming up. I just think also that this is also relating. I mean, I'm literally, even though that's not what this is, to me, this became the White House. It's white here. Now I had an interesting prediction that hasn't verified yet about the White House being sealed off for a short period of time based on maybe demonstration or protest or something else. I wonder if that's still coming, because there's a lot of protests that are going on. The old song from the 70s, "The revolution will not be televised." Well, this revolution is being suppressed. It's not being televised. But there's a lot of protests that are going on all over. Not just February 5th, but going on. And with the stress that's happening, a lot of people are just kind of losing it. So we see, unfortunately, more violence and stuff like that. But the Hierophant reverse, like the Hierophant, that could be like the Pope. That's like the leader, the religious leader, and standing between the pillars with a certain amount of dogma or programming or whatever. But it's reversed. So I think what this is saying is just it's all coming out. We know it's all coming out. The thing is, for a time, I suspected some of it might be cosmetic, or in other words, like knowing that people are waking up, that the globalists, the deep state, are having to retreat a little bit, change their strategies, and allow some of the corruption to come out in order to maintain control. And I feel like that they want people to really get behind Donald Trump right now, because he is, from the appearance of things, and that doesn't mean that it's a fact, progressing that globalist agenda for the centralization and digital, currency, AI, and all that stuff, and drawing lines in the sand, and there's a few other things also, that would suggest that he's part of, like, a mechanism of that plan, that thereby would be part of the deep state. I don't fully buy that personally, but by all appearances, that's a possibility. So I think a lot of this, a lot of things will come out. So I think one of the possibilities, or part of the agenda that I see, is that a lot of the disclosures are orchestrated. Like, the JFK files came out, but did it reveal anything that we don't already know or suspect? They're going to be like more disclosure of UFOs, project or Area 51, secret space programs that the government's a part of, that there's information about that. 9/11, that bin Laden was on the U.S. payroll, and that there's at least some mechanism of an inside job. And there's so much evidence that points to that I think we can start to understand that at least partially being a conspiracy fact, from a theory. It's like is there really good stuff going to come out? I mean, so far to me, and I'm not up on, I can't keep up with all this stuff. So far to me, it's still been very surfacey from what I understand. Now, if they really nailed down the pandemic agenda, that would be something basically, and really nailed down like big farm and the fact that, and I'm going to say the fact because there's so much evidence to support it, that their agenda is not to make people healthy, but to get people more sick so that they can continue to make money basically on developing new vaccines. There's new vaccines that seem like they're coming out every day that are going to be for children, basically, that have a whole laundry list of possible side effects. And to what degree are vaccines training your immune system versus crashing your immune system? There's a fine line there. Like in a perfect world, a vaccine will train your immune system in order to be able to fight a certain pathogen. Now, when you start to go into genetic medicine, you're altering the whole structure of your DNA in order, theoretically, to be resistant to a certain pathogen or a group of pathogens or whatever. But it's changing your biochemistry. And there's not enough knowledge or research to validate that that's safe in the long term, in my opinion, basically. And yeah, so what are you guys saying? We are the disclosure, yeah. But thank you for that. Yeah, I don't mean to diminish it. Yeah, there are amazing disclosures that are happening. So yeah, I don't mean to diminish that. Also, I just want us all to really still be vigilant on what's going on and see if there's any agendas behind what corruption's being exposed versus what isn't. Now we've been told the Epstein's list of clients is being disclosed also. If that happens full on, that would exceed my psychic forecast by 6 months, because I was still talking about that happening towards September, not March. So it is an amazing time. We're really privileged, even though there's a lot of suffering, and if you're an empath, it's a very hard time. But that said, we're very, very privileged to be here to see the falling of Rome, so to speak. We're here to see the whole overturning of the corrupt society that's built on a house of cards from the very weak foundation of corruption and greed and power over others. Once that falls, we can together rebuild on a much more stable foundation of community and power for the people, by the people, and us all having a say in government choices. We have a say in who we vote for. Yes. So we have that, if the elections are fair, but to even I have all these visions in my mind. So this is the times happening, but this four energy, this is good. And I think there's also going to be something that the governments are going to propose. Like it could either be more news about further corruption. I was seeing some semblance of a stimulus package coming out. I haven't seen, that was more intuitive. I haven't seen any evidence of that in the news or anything, but I think the stimulus package is going to be more around businesses, or more rather than the individuals, to sustain or stimulus to go over to AI or to adapt certain changes, that type of thing, basically. Yeah, so we're seeing a lot being exposed, but we're also seeing still a lot that's being orchestrated in the world as well. And like I said, I think the globalists are just having to retreat and regroup and accelerate their plans, because I think they're feeling the heat of more people awakening. And that's the idea. What can we do to help awaken? Get more present, do more meditation. That's the most important thing that each one of us can do, because we all feed the collective. So get out when you feel fear or stress or whatever, get out of the duality, double down on your spiritual work. And I know a lot of people, when I say they'll say, well, no, we can't just sit back and meditate. We've got to fight. We've got to write to our congressman. We've got to demonstrate. We've got to fight this. We've got to stop doing this. And trust me, if you do what I'm saying and you go more into your spirituality, your higher self is going to let you know what actions to take on the physical in order to see the change and the awakening through. Otherwise, your actions are just based on fear and anger and mistrust. They're not based on spirit. So understand that that's, in my opinion, that's an important point. I could like look at there, get furious over what's being done to people, and through my anger and through my desire, because I'm a Libra, so my desire to see everything fair, I could act based on those emotions and that incentive, but that may just feed the problem because it's coming from that place of fear and separation. But if I'm in my power, if I'm in my spirit will let me know what it is that I need to do. 2019, the last day of 2019, I did that. The spirit told me to start a YouTube channel. That's why we're here. I told spirit, are you freaking crazy? I suck behind camera. I don't know a thing about YouTube. I don't have the time, blah, 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 million and one excuses. But I felt like it came from spirit. I did it. And the pandemic hit shortly after that. And I started to realize, yeah, there's a reason that I'm doing this. And now what? We're reaching what? Well, 23,000 subscribers. That means I'm probably reaching a couple thousand people. So it's not that big yet, but it keeps growing basically. And this is my part of my action based on connecting to spirit, basically. And that, so I think you guys understand that. Love in action, exactly, yeah. And the characters, I asked, and they told me no, his guide, we're supposed to travel the path of self together. Okay, so I think that's related. And yeah, so yeah, I'd love to see some stimulus just for everybody, basically. I mean, I think we could use that. We are happy to, yeah. And I wouldn't have met all you guys if I didn't do this, right? And gosh, I don't know what I'd be doing, but as above, so below. Balanced, grounded spirits at the same time. Yeah, right. Yeah, there is no separation between physical and spirit. The physical is the spiritual. It's a manifestation of that. Right. So get that. So I like a lot of this four energy. This is offers. This can be like a completion. I think we're even though it's a little bit scary, I think we're getting better news. I feel like in about 2 weeks or so, we may get some very significant news around the Russia-Ukraine war, basically. Hopefully in the right direction, as I forecast that it would either end or there'd be a ceasefire by July. This was before Donald Trump was elected, by the way, just to be clear about that. And again, these are offers, but the four energy, think outside the box. That's our motto. Be in our heart, be in our power. Think outside the box. Don't conform. Follow your heart. Follow your intuition. I think you're going to get a lot of ideas, and I think that there's some promises for stability. And I think something comes out that people are very skeptical about. But I think they're also finding like a lot of dirt and corruption, and that process is going to continue. So anyway, let me do a few other divination cards. So where's my I always like to follow this up with a pull from the Native American Tarot. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm very happy too that I started this. If it were a stimulus for the people, I would add the difference and buy an ounce of gold buffalo coin there. Yeah, yeah. Well, let's pray for that. Yeah, I mean that would be great if they actually did that. Uh, yeah, what's this? Yeah, the children. Yeah, yeah. I'm seeing like the children, and they'll be taken care of too. I think some are going to be found and discovered that have been held. Put it that way. Yeah, they show me the Ten of Wands in my mind, so I think it's a spiritual way of saying, we have to understand what our true responsibilities are, and we're likely to you'd be taking on a lot. Those of us that are involved with their spiritual teaching. Interesting. The Nine of I think hatchets and swords and polygamy. That's interesting. Well, I don't think that's literal. I don't think that spirit's encouraging us to be polygamous, but it could be more about like being more inclusive. I think another thing that's showing up in these dreams. I think because this is also this four energy. It's very community also, and I think this is really about us making good connections through it could be through social media, through our networks and stuff, making really good connection, being within our community. But I think we're also going to get a lot of spiritual downloads through dreams, and they kind of give me a feeling that there's still a process of tearing things down that hasn't happened yet in order to rebuild. And then they're showing me an RIP with the system. So I feel like they're saying, this next couple of weeks is going to be a real shift. We've been building and building up to it. Next couple of weeks, the shift's going to happen. And it's kind of like RIP to the old ways, basically, that the old is dead. And it's interesting in 2022, when the master teachers, when that's the channeling that I do with these higher energies. They said the light had won. They said it was right around, I think, summer, autumn of 2022. The light had won, basically, and things are going to change. And then they kind of caution say, well, it's still going to take years because it's the physical and it's dense, but things are going to change, and energetically, it's already changed, basically. So I think we're starting to really see the effects of that there's more light energy, and that's starting to overcome the dark or agenda, the control based power over others, separation from spirit or source. That's what I'm defining as the dark, basically being. When it comes to spirit, when you're in the light, you're in the light of God or spirit. When you're in the dark, you're separated from that, basically. So I think we're going to see that. So where we go on. So we're So you're getting so maybe what I was picking up on was happening in Canada then. Getting $200 check, maybe. All right, so maybe they'll do something like that. Yeah, and again, I don't think it would be a big one, but that there may be something like that going on here also. So anyhow, let me move on. Um, So, by the way, I wanted to mention that if anybody wants to learn Power Attunements Plus, that's my program for connecting to spirit to manifest your reality, and it's very powerful. We're doing a 4-part class starting the first Thursday of March. $144 for all four, and then you get the 2.5-hour program for free. So it's like a $55 value free. So this is going to be on Zoom. It's going to be all recorded. And many people are telling me that this is the best law of attraction program they've ever done, and at a fraction of the cost. Trust me, it's really, really good. It's really helped me a lot. It's helped me to heal from things that doctors couldn't heal by applying the 7 treasures. And I'm really psyched and happy to be able to offer that, especially because I've added some new things to it, because I did the program in 2013. It's 12 years old, so there's been some upgrades and updates, and I've learned more basically with that. So, well, there'll be information for that. And then we're doing a mediumship and channeling retreat from April 11th to the 13th in the Catskills. If you want to learn how to do mediumship channeling, as well as trance healing and spirit art, we're going to do a weekend intensive. And by the time you're done, you're going to be able to get messages from your guides and loved ones, as well as other people. So that's going to be very powerful. So that's happening in the Catskills. I have the Moonology cards here. I know there's 1 or 2 other things that are going on, but I can't think of them right now. So this is our Moonology deck. So we'll get like a quick message from all these other different divination decks. So full moon in Scorpio. So we're not going to have a full moon in Scorpio for a couple of months, but or 3 months, I think. But it's time to release negativity. So that's a good intention to work on this week. Inhale love and light. Exhale release. Back to the seals. Forgive. You don't condone or forget if that's appropriate. But forgive. Then you release other people's energies from your energetic fields. We need as the tower falls in a world that we once knew as the unsustainable falls. The unsustainable in our lives has to fall also. Things that we're holding on that no longer serve our highest good, that only feed the disease, that don't feed spirit, that don't feed the cure, that don't feed the love. This is the time to do that, basically. So time to release. So that's a good message for us. I have the Isis Oracle deck here. All right. This card came right out. And this is Divine Sunshine, Blessings of the Sun Falcon. I've got this once before, I think, because this looks familiar. So really, open our heart, all that solar energy. Blessings of the Sun Falcon. So the Sun Falcon, to me, falcons, birds of prey, or any birds for that matter. Just looking, oh yeah, there's a little bit of ice on my wires. I'm just looking outside. I thought we were about freezing, but maybe not. Anyway, I'm digressing. The birds, they're messengers from spirit, basically. So this is a good time to open our hearts and invite the solar codes in, to connect with the central sun. We can do that through meditation, through the physical sun. Open heart, open mind, open, because the sun transmits cosmic information and frequencies that activate our dormant DNA, that activate our energetic fields that are inactive due to the programming. It's when they activate, we have higher levels of awakening. So I think, again, this is supporting the notion that we're going to be undergoing a lot of spiritual awakening, as a collective, as well as some of us individually over the next few weeks. I'm just peeking at your so thanks for all your amazing comments, everybody. So I've got the frequency for the week to work with. This is through the Sacred Geometry deck, or Oracle, Sacred Geometry something. Oracle activations, okay. So which frequency should we be activating this week? This would be this one, and this one is Cosmic Flower, like flower of life, basically. The frequency of Cosmic Flower activates our remembrance of the place we call home, the core from which we pour our magnificence into the world. So it's like our wellspring, it's where our spirit is from, basically divine source. For some of us, it's remembrance of our other lifetimes, other incarnations when we were on different planets. A lot of us are star seeds. A few of us may be new soul star seeds also. Yes, let's keep soaring like the eagles, fly like the eagles, or the falcons, basically. And you can get the energy by gazing the center of this card. Cosmic Flower. I like this one too. Yeah. So we're all part of that, allowing that wellspring of spirit to flow into our lives, and then we create positive changes in our lives rather than become victims of the programming machine that's creating our reality for us, though we're not aware of it. So when we allow that cosmic light of spirit, that energy to flow through us, and we open our hearts, we're no longer in the programming. We become resistant to it, but rather we're in the higher energies of spirit and divine source, basically. So, but there you have it. So moving right along. I have Kyle Gray's deck, and then two others after this. So we're getting near the end. We're getting there. This is the Divine Masters deck, I think. Do I have the box somewhere? Because I have two of his decks. Divine Masters Oracle. Okay, so that's the one that we have now. Here we go. Ishtar. Inner learning, follow your heart, truth prevails. Ishtar is a warrior god, amongst other things, and a fertility god too, I believe. From the, what was it, the Mesopotamians or Babylonians? So a lot of inner light, a lot of inner learning, and connecting with these divine messages and energies. What else can I see about that? A lot of gold with the blue, basically. And I feel like what they're saying is that I can share a little process that I do. That when I do clearance, I'll like inhale and bring my arms up, and then bring the golden earth up, and then exhale, bring my arms around and surround myself with the golden earth. I'll do that 9 times, and then I'll reverse. So I'll bring my arms up this way, and then I'll pull down from the cosmos violet light down through my center line and expand that even around the gold light. So I create like this golden violet, which is going to help to keep you safe and protected and very spiritually active also. So, Ishtar has a warriorship aspect. Spiritual warriorship is appropriate. We want to be in our heart because that's our source of power. The more powerful we are, the more in our divine warriorship we are, in case we need to defend ourselves or our loved ones or defend our way of life, and stuff like that. So we assess our playing field and come up with strategies. That's spiritual warriorship. So it's good. Like, I like to keep abreast of the headlines. I like to know what's going on in the world. So in case I need to apply new strategies, I'm aware to do that. And, we always win, whether the battle's physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, psychic, whatever it is. We don't win to beat people up. We win because it's a win for everybody, basically. So Inanna, I'm thinking of Inanna, Inanna is Ishtar, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the same goddess, right? Inanna and Ishtar. And this is saying Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. So they're all part of that warriorship. Like I was initiated by Kali in an initiation I did way back in the day. And then martial arts that I studied that has nothing to do with the goddess. Well, it does directly. It's a Filipino art called Arnis or Eskrima, but the other name for it is Kali. And I think they got that name to the Hindu migrants that came up through like southern Asia, through like Indonesia, Malaysia, and into the southern Philippines. So Kali's always been an important energy in my life, and Kali's a very generous provider, but a very fierce warrior also. So I've got the medicine cards with me today. I don't have the book, so I'll just get the meaning from spirit directly, unless I know the meaning of the card. So this is a North American animal, although some of the South American animals are included. Well, the raven, well, that's an easy one. Magic, mystery, the unknown, the hidden. Basically, we're all magical beings, so this is a good time to apply our magic, which could be our prayers or law of attraction also. And I feel like in this raven, there's a lot of exposure. There's a lot of psychic, spiritual information, and we're getting a lot of communication, through our guides and ancestors. So I feel like this is like a tool for mediumship also for us. And we can work with the raven to fly to the other world, and to connect with the other world and to find divine wisdom through our ancestors and through our spirit guides, basically. Messages from Odin. Yes, Odin is Thor's father. Odin just happens to be the name of my son also. So there's that kind of Odin or Woden energy connected to that also, for sure. And last but not least, I have a quick angel message. So this is a quieter week, right? Because we're sort of in between the full and new moon. I'll probably come up with a video or two, but I don't think we're doing any live streams this week unless something comes up and I decide to come on live. But and again, just for new people or whatever, if you want to get in on Power Attunements Plus, it's my personal program that's helped many people manifest their reality through connecting more with their spirit and higher self. We're doing a 4-part Power Attunements Plus course over Zoom in March. And we have the mediumship and channeling retreat in April, it's the 11th and the 13th. And then I was talking in my mind, oh, this is my card too. Interesting. Akasha, you are a spiritual teacher. You have the ability to counsel others and help them awaken their spiritual gifts and divine life mission. So when I got this deck many moons ago, this is one of Doreen Virtue's decks that you can't buy anymore because she had a lot of you know that she changed courses in her spiritual path. But I still think that work was brilliant and the cards are brilliant. So I said, so I wanted to pull a card. What was my message? And this was the first card that I pulled, was Akasha. And it fit me so well. And there's a lot of that indigo, blue, violet light also. So know that you are a spiritual teacher and you are connected. And they show me musical notes. So a lot of you will connect through music. So do more like dancing, singing, chanting. It's going to help you to access your spirit and higher self also. And you have the ability to help others. So people that are attracted to this channel and this work are generally speaking light workers, way showers. That you are in the process of developing or develop to the degree where you're already leading people, to helping with their awakening also. So basically, that's what I got for you guys. We're gonna sign off now. Enjoy your Monday. If you're in upstate New York, New England, in that area, be aware of more heavy weather, heavy winds, and things like that the next couple of days. And love you. We'll see you next time.